Hi. I have been thinking a lot about accessibility. I think I'm always thinking about accessibility because if you were like me, you grew up food insecure and you didn't know it until you were an adult. And then you actually heard the definition. Um, And um, so I was thinking about this guy that I met who was in transition and he was separated from his wife and kids, and he was living alone in his home after they left, and the PG&E got shut off. So there was no electricity or anything in his home. And the way he ate, the way he was able to like feed himself became the topic of conversation when he found out the type of work that I had done and was doing. And he showed me that he was literally eating canned foods for the most part, and cooking them on his barbecue pit outside on his grill. So he only needed charcoal and a fire source, right? A lighter and some pans, and he was cooking outside. And one of the things that he said was like one of the major game changers for him was when he found pop cans for the fruits and vegetables that he was eating and other types of things that were easy to open. And I was thinking about the fact that a good portion of the community who showed up to a food bank I used to work at was actually unhoused. And they may or may not have had a can opener. The can opener may have rusted or whatever, but um, they had requested pop cans for everything. And nobody thought about it until we thought about it. And it was like, why would they want pop cans? Like the kind that you just, like a soda. It's literally because a can opener is like one of the most basic tools that people have at home. But when they're in extreme circumstances, you don't know what happened to your can opener, right? Um, Vegetable peelers are another thing as well. Like when I started teaching cooking classes, I had no idea how many people just did not have a vegetable peeler. Um, and I grew up without one, little paring knife was what I used. But as I got older and more seasoned in the culinary world, and it was kind of it's a tool of the trade. When you get your knife kit, it has vegetable peelers in there. Um, and it's the small things. So I wanted to talk about accessibility from that lens and say that if you are running a food justice program, if you are supporting food sovereignty in any way, that there are certain little things that are not so little to other people. So the food itself is really important, but other tools like cutting boards, can openers, vegetable peelers, measuring cups and spoons are also really important to have if you are running a nonprofit or a support. Consider adding tools part of your development program when you are needing to raise money, right? You can fundraise for tools, for cutting boards, for knives, for all of these things so that people have more options in the kitchen. And it's not going to solve the problem for everyone. And then not all tools are created equal. This isn't one of those like one size fits all things. And I feel like in this work, it's so important to remember that something is better than nothing, especially when the intent is in the right place. So if you can provide tools, do. If you cannot, partner with somebody who has tools to give away. Just consider the fact that some of the most basic items that you have at home are not a priority for those who are dealing with food insecurity. The priority is to eat. And I feel like that's another subject that's really difficult for people to understand. Like, you want to provide certain options, but the goal is to eat, right? To eat with dignity, to eat well, you know, just try to do your best, for lack of a better way to say it. I hope this resonated in your spirit as you're watching and thinking about the type of work that you do in your specific community. And yeah, if you can provide tools, do it. Do it.